big race. I love Wisconsin. We won Wisconsin. Republicans typically don't do very well in Wisconsin, but I did. Yeah, there's a big race, and I hope you get out and vote for the Republican. The woman is a radical left lunatic, and let's see who wins. But the woman will be very bad. And, you know, Wisconsin's a big state politically, and the Supreme Court has a lot to do with elections in Wisconsin.
Well, President Trump there encouraging voters to cast their ballots for the conservative candidate in the Wisconsin Supreme Court race tomorrow. Right now, the court has a slim 4-3 liberal majority, and depending on the outcome, the court's ideological balance could flip. And Alexander Schurer, the Vote Beat reporter based in Wisconsin, he's joining us live to discuss the hotly contested race and how the outcome could determine the future of election law. Alexander, thanks. I'll get to the attention in a minute here, but first, the liberal justice on the bench is retiring. That's setting up this election. Tell us about the dynamic and these two candidates.
So currently it's a 4-3 liberal majority court. The court is ostensibly officially nonpartisan, but in practice it's extremely partisan, with political parties on both sides spending millions to hire their preferred candidate and their hot button issues at any moment moving through the courts. So Susan Crawford is the liberal candidate. She's a Dane County judge. In the past was a attorney who represented Democrats, for example, in support of union rights, in opposition to voter ID laws in Wisconsin. And the conservative candidate, Brad Schimmel, was attorney general as a Republican. And he's been staunchly supportive of Trump, and the opposite is true as well.
Well, let's talk about why this is getting so much attention here. Many see this as a referendum on Donald Trump here. That's how some see it, who, by the way, is now expressing visions of having a third term. Talk about why all of the eyes of the country are on this race.
Yeah, I think, like you said, it's sort of being cast as a referendum on Trump, and I think that's true to an extent. Both Democrats and Republicans have been saying that if liberals keep the court, that somebody might bring a lawsuit to redistrict the state on a congressional level to essentially hand Democrats 2 more seats, which, you know, currently the balance of power in Congress is tight enough that 2 seats might be all it takes for Democrats to win a majority and kind of stop Trump from pushing his agenda through Congress. So I think that's a big reason it's getting national attention. But there are a lot of state issues at play. There's election law, there's abortion, there are 2 cases moving through the courts over the past couple of years, public sector union rights. There are many huge cases that.
Yeah, and so much money being spent on this, $90 million so far, maybe $100 million. We saw that Elon Musk was out there for the conservative candidate. Even here in Illinois, Governor Pritzker was for the liberal candidate. Is there any expression that that all that money that's being spent, is it leading to a difference in the polls?
You know, we're not entirely sure because there are not that many polls at this point, but it is true that in this cycle, compared with the past couple Supreme Court cycles, conservatives are spending more than they have in the past, and currently they're spending more than liberals, largely because of Elon Musk's, I think, $20 million investment in this race. Now, the left has a lot of wealthy donors that are donating. Susan Crawford has a pretty strong grassroots campaign. But we're at over $100 million in total, I think, being spent on this race. And the conservative candidate is leading. And just to put this into perspective, in 2023, the Wisconsin Supreme Court race set the record for the most expensive judicial race in American history. That was $50 million. We're at $100 million.
Wow.
So
we're in a different world, aren't we? You talked a little bit about the potential of a lawsuit pushing for redistricting after, you just went through that redistricting recently. Talk to me a little bit about some of the other issues. I know electronic voting, more about the election law. Talk to me a little bit about what hangs in the balance there.
Yeah, so I think for some context, the governor here is Democratic. The legislature is controlled by Republicans. There are constant arguments over what to do with election law. Some election laws are a little outdated in Wisconsin, but there's no agreement between the governor and legislature over what to do with these laws. So there are a lot of lawsuits. For example, a few years ago, drop boxes under a conservative court majority were made illegal. After liberals took over the court, they're made legal again. There's sort of this open question: if the conservative candidate wins, does someone file suit to make drop boxes illegal again? There are many other issues, as you pointed out. Electronic voting. There are some voters with disabilities who are suing for the right to cast, mark, and receive and return a ballot electronically, saying they don't have enough access or privacy to go to the polls. So, like some of these issues aren't as partisan as others. I'd say drop boxes are more partisan, electronic voting maybe less so. So you can't say for sure how these candidates would rule, but every law change requires thousands of clerks around the state to change their rules and what they need to watch out for and tell voters. And obviously voters vote depending on how the laws are.
We'll find out what happens tomorrow on Election Day. Alexander Scherf from VoteBeat, thanks for filling us in.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Okay.